Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Live streaming is here for you. I'm delighted that we can share the Shabbat together, sharing beautiful prayers, inspiring music, and an important message. As the week continues and Shabbat begins, please accept my very best wishes for good health, much life, and greater peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Cantor and I want to welcome all of you here and all of you who are watching on live stream to the Gordon Chapel as we come together as a community to celebrate Shabbat. And many of the things that we love about Shabbat are praying and singing. And so on this Shabbat, we've begun with a prayer of our heart. One of the things that we're taught is that if we don't know the words, we can always say lie, 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 and that can fill in as the prayer from our hearts. So we are so glad that you're here to pray with us on this evening. And we know that we love coming to Shabbat services because we get to see so many friends, and we want to help you make new friends. So if you can take a moment, look around. If you see a new face or someone you did not come with, take a moment, introduce yourself, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. We continue now with singing and praying Shalom Aleichem, which can be found on page 24.
Please join us. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharit, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharit, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
we've welcomed each other, and we've welcomed prayers and singing, and we now officially welcome Shabbat with the lighting of our Shabbat candles, which can be found on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
We turn now to page 28 and rise for Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed.
Page 31, we read together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 33 responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What created your children your abiding love?
Then this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kivod malchuto leolam va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumeh ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 39, we read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו ב'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. Shabbat vayinavash vishamnu b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat lidorotam berit olam vishamnu b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. Observing Shabbat throughout the ages is a covenant for all time. It's a sign for all time between God and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Hatfilah begins on pages 46 and 48. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה.
Page 51 at the bottom. Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women flower toward the sun. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. Page 55 together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. Together, there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance, and let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha bira na'avod. Page 59 together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata Melech Adon Lechol Hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim.
We take a moment now for silent prayer. we now take a moment in our Shabbat prayer to think of those who are in need of a refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. In particular, today as a community, we're thinking of Susan Pye, Michael O'Connor, Marissa Pink, and Melanie Mann. And to all those whose names we didn't say who are in need of that healing, we join now together in words of Misha Berach, which can be found on page 253. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Alexander's day continues so poorly, actually, that he eventually states, I think that I will just move to Australia. This is the beginning of a beloved children's book, and for 30 pages, we are taken step by step through the calamity that is Alexander's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At the start of chapter 14 of Numbers, we find our people imagining their own slippery slope that isn't so different from Alexander's day. The whole community broke out into loud cries, and the people wept that night. All the Israelites railed against Moses and Aaron. If only we died in the land of Egypt, the whole community shouted at them, or if only we might have died here in this wilderness. This is what our people's calamity looks like. And in all honesty, it shouldn't even surprise us anymore. In Torah, we find, especially when they're in the wilderness, something bad happened. Our ancestors felt the end was nigh, and so they expressed their emotion by imagining alternative timelines in which they had never left Egypt. No food? Let's go back to Egypt. No water? Dying in Egypt as a slave would have been better. Our promised land was indeed flowing with milk and honey and had some great fruit too, but it doesn't look like it's possible to take it. Forget dying in Egypt, dying right here in the wilderness is a moderate improvement from going forward. In the wilderness, our ancestors were the masters of the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. For Alexander, the book ends with him going to bed, and for us as the reader, the lesson is simply that there's always tomorrow. No matter how bad today was, many of life's greatest problems can be fixed with a good night's sleep. So tonight, I pray that you all have a good night's sleep. But what is the lesson of our ancestors' persistent petulance? In order to do that and to answer that question, let's first recap the story that brought us to this particular calamity. God told Moses to send one of the chieftains of each of the 12 tribes into the promised land. Moses instructed them to answer a series of important questions when they entered the land, such as, are the inhabitants strong or weak? Are the towns fortified or open? Is the soil rich or poor? The 12 scouts spent 40 days in the land, and then they returned and went directly to Moses and Aaron and the entire community. And 10 of them began the report on a positive note. The land does indeed flow with milk and honey, and they brought back some of its delicious fruits. But then they continued with the negative. The people are powerful. The cities are fortified. Some of the inhabitants are mythically large. And save for one moment in which Caleb tried to persuade the masses otherwise, it was downhill into the despair that we found the Israelites. However, that little moment from Caleb isn't forgotten. Later, as God and Moses are conversing, trying to head this insurrection off, God says, "Ve'avdi Kalev ekev haita, ruach acheret, imo vayimale acharai." But my servant Caleb, because he was imbued with a different spirit and remained loyal to me, him I will bring into the land that he entered, and his offspring shall hold it as a possession. Caleb's different spirit, ruach acheret, spared his life. Our tradition teaches in Pirkei Avot a perfect description of Caleb. B'makom she'ein anashim histadel lehiyot ish. In a place without people, strive to be human. Caleb, in his moment of attempting to persuade the people, Caleb, he spoke from his mouth and from his heart. And once more, this is uplifted by Rabbeinu Bachya ibn Bekuda, the 11th century Spanish scholar who parsed all the uses of the word acheret to be a divine distinction between righteousness and evil. In these understandings, Caleb was the one who brought the righteousness into a place filled with evil. And as I just said, Rashi was the one who brought to us this teaching that he spoke from two places. He spoke as everyone else did, as those first 10 spies did. He spoke with his mouth. But it was when he included the words of his heart that he was able to spare his own life and to be able to continue moving forward. For all of us, we find ourselves in moments of calamity. We find ourselves in moments in which we are surrounded by people who are saying not so nice things, by people who are speaking to something that doesn't necessarily mirror the truth that we experience in our own lives. And so we have a choice. Do we want to be Alexander? Sometimes it's not so bad to just go to bed. Just put our head down on the pillow, close our eyes, and drift off, hoping that the next morning will bring about a new day more than just the actual date. The other option is to be Caleb. Do we enter that space and stand up and say, we can do it? Or do we say that's not right? And for all of us, when we do that, we don't speak just from our mouths, we speak from our hearts. It's important for all of us to be able to figure out what it is that our heart wants to say. That's not always easy. That's not always something that just comes to us in a fleeting moment. It can take days or years for us to figure out what it is that our heart truly desires. But when we find that thing, when we find that moment where our heart truly soars, it's time for us to stand up and speak. On this Shabbat, as we go home, hopefully to a restful evening, filled with maybe a great night's sleep. I hope that we take a moment for all of us to find a moment in which we learn what our heart wants. What does our heart desire for the next 24 hours of Shabbat? What does our heart desire for the week to come, or for the month to come, or the years to come? And as we learn what our heart wants, I hope that we take forward with all of us the courage of Caleb and stand up and speak out. Amen. We continue now with Aleinu L'Shabeach, which can be found on pages 282 and 287. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gedula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to those whose yahrzeits we are remembering this week, and also those who have passed from this world in most recent days. And as is the custom here in the Gordon Chapel, as the name of your loved one is called, please rise so that we can know you and support you. We are thinking of in most recent days Edith Orlin, Rosalind Seltzer, Howard Bodner. In thinking from years past, we remember Janice Harris, Richard Marks, Bobby Bregman, Harold Bregman, Louis Malkin, Dolores Maltz, Sophia Pipus, Ruth Pollock, Haya Berliner, Ada Black, Mary Helen Foster, Lawrence Gallison, Fira Rezi, David Schultz, Risa Taub, Daniel Forbes, Ethel Levin, Ben Levy, Abby Lewis, Samuel Magg, Eugene Nevelo, Marvin Pottis, Sidney Rosen, Abraham Spielman, Lily Stark, Hilda Aaron, Leah Cussier, Ether Fallick, Richard Golden, Morton Hecht, Hannah Hoffman, Harry Case, Rosalie Layden, Miriam Leff, Helen Lerner, Regina Lewin, Abigail Oldnixon, Mary Oslick, Anna Schaefer, Alan Shapiro, Mary Simon, Karen Stortz, Aline Davis, Sylvan Dubin, Arlene Honig, Joyce Rosenthal, Irving Rubin, Rose Schraber, Alvin Simon, Thelma Weber, Myron Brown, Justin Gardner, Maddie Hammer, Jim Huey, Maurice Kroll, George Lieberman, Pauline Loggins, Allison Mann, Samuel Parker, Arthur Simon Sr., Joseph Wolfe, Harold Bernstein, Betty Bernstein, James Colton, Francis Markell, Linda Marks, William Marks, Hirsch Schwartz, Darrell Wiesenthal, and Jacob Soloway. We rise now as one community to support all of our mourners with words of Kaddish Yatom on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach rute v'yamlich malchute, be'chayechon u'vyomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman karvi v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei kudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. And now we move from thoughts of mourning to thoughts of celebration as we sanctify this moment of Shabbat with words of Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei beri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'masei bereshit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher lisiyat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha v'yava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Before we conclude our service, Rabbis Lyon and Scott would like to extend you their wishes from Israel, where they are there with a bus full of congregants. I imagine that shortly after they get back, they'll start talking about the next trip. So please plan ahead now. My guess is it's about 2 years from right now, and hopefully you will all join in. We conclude now with words of Hallelujah on page 339. We rise for that and our closing benediction.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Olam Shabbat, Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Olam Shabbat.
Adonai Eloheinu, Avotenu Vimotenu, God of our ancestors, bless us as our psalmist did in your name, that let everything that breathes praise you and praise your name with all of our mouths and our words, but also with all of our hearts on this Shabbat evening. And let us all together say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us at Congregation Beth Israel in Houston. Sharing Shabbat with you is so meaningful to us. Let's join together again very soon. My very best wishes to you for a good week. Shabbat Shalom.